Hello, investors. This is Ted Zhang, Associate Portfolio Manager at Revere Asset Management. Today is Friday, November 1st, 4:49 p.m. Coming to from Fort Lauderdale with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. State of the market, we've labeled it as a short-term downtrend now, with two closes below the 21 EMA. We have market leaders with neutral. Some are still acting well, but others are faltering. We're getting stopped out of some names. Short term, we've changed that to down. We're below 21 EMA now with a second close and reject today. Medium term, we're still at a green up arrow, but we do have a yellow sub arrow for the RSP as it did break the 50-day. And long term, we're still above the 200-day moving average. What happened today? Weak attempted rally, and we got all eyes on election next Tuesday and FOMC next Thursday. 21 over 21 list down 0.31%, 9 up, 1 sideways, or 1 flat, 10 down. Big 8 down 0.96%, RG8 up 0.59%, S&P up 0.41%, RSP up 0.08%, Qs up 0.73%, QQEW up 0.86%, Dow up 0.59%, mid caps up 0.15%, small caps up 0.43%, 60/40 up 0.16%, and grow down about 0.08%. Jumping right into the S&P 500. That is not the S&P. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Look at the S&P here. We gapped up about 0.31%, made a nice morning push to 5572, and that was pretty much yesterday's highs of 5575, rejected there as well as at the 21 EMA, which is right now at 5780, and pretty much closed lows of the day. We still finished green today, but closed at the lows. So the key now is to look at it against yesterday's lows and the 50-day moving average, with resistance yesterday's highs and the 21 and 8 EMA. RSP broke the 50-day, closed below for the second time in a row, rejected the 8 and 21. Some selling coming in the previous 3 days, and today the inside day on low volume signals volume or volatility contraction within a short-term downtrend. Qs, we did reclaim this 485.54 level after yesterday, but we still rejected the 8 and 21. We'll just have to see how this plays out. On the weekly, we did hold a 10-week as well. I want to go back to S&P. S&P did hold a 10-week as well, which is 5709, and that is definitely a key area to watch out for. Even on the weekly, we had above average volume. QQEW, similar to Qs, gapped up into the 8 and 21, rejected that and closed above the 50. Yesterday's lows becomes key. The Dow reclaimed the 50, but still rejected 8 and 21. It's kind of in no man's land now. We could easily see a wedge pop depending on where the market chooses to go, but yesterday's lows continues to be a key level. Mid caps, similar action, reject the 8 and 21, still closed above yesterday's lows in the 50-day like the other indexes, and small caps as well. Inside day, rejected the 8 and 21, closed above 2200 in yesterday's lows. VIX did come down today a bit to 2188. We hit highs of 23.4 yesterday. We definitely don't want to see the spike into the 30s. That would not be good for the markets and volatility. Dollar, bearish engulfing candle today, reclaiming the 200-day. Yield soar today as well, which we'll get into in a bit. This dollar continues to look strong and will just only put some more pressure on the markets. Gold, breaking the 8 EMA, closed below today. 21 EMA looks next, as well as this low right here. That will be a key level. Gold miners, closed below the 50-day moving average. Silver, closed below 21 EMA after rejecting the 8 EMA. And you can classify this as almost a failed breakout now as it breaks back into the base. Bitcoin, IBIT, rejects all-time highs and really starts to look to put in the handle on this right side. Right now, this is still fine action, even though there's some sellers, above average volume sellers. We need to see this find support, at least somewhere here, tight back up, and do something like that. We'll go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin rejected the previous all-time highs of 73,835. 3 days down now, but still holding the 69,000 level, which really needs to hold. And we'll just see how this plays out throughout the election and FOMC. Bonds will go to trading view for bonds. 1 year, pretty much no movement. 2 year up about 4 basis points today, but the 10-year, huge 10 basis point move, and 30-year, huge 10 basis point move. So on the flip side, bonds definitely sold off. This is pricing at higher growth expectations and higher inflation. And then finally, that is it with yields and bonds. That takes care of inter-asset correlation. And we'll jump right into the tail of the tape. So a lot of red on the tail of the tape now. Of course, we're in the short-term downtrend. We're operating under the bear case now with a sustained break below the 21 EMA. And today was the second close below. News today, we have the non-farm payrolls report, or the BLS labor market data. Unemployment stayed the same at 4.1%, 4.1% expected. Non-farm payrolls came in weaker than expected. And the number for you was 12,000 versus 120,000 expected. For non-farm private payrolls, we actually had a loss of jobs, minus 28,000 versus 105,000 expected. What that tells me is that the government is propping up the economy and labor market. Private sector is weakening, and that is not a good thing. Down 1 day to classifying as a consolidation 1 day. 3 days below the 8 EMA, 2 days below the 21 EMA. Expectations are therefore negative. Strong sectors today, bond yields, dollar, discretionary, tech, and healthcare balanced, but still can classify as weaker because those sold off hard, especially tech and discretionary. Biotech was strong, RK was strong today. Bond prices down, utilities, real estate down, uranium down, Bitcoin and miners down as well. So we trimmed Tesla, we trimmed VRT, Reddit, MSTR, Kava, and sold CEG. I actually don't have the incorrect RVAB here. It's actually, yesterday was 1.46, and today we're down to 1.22. So that is my bad. Just wanted to correct that in the tail of the tape today. The bottom line, weak attempted rally, and our eyes are on the election at FOMC. For Monday's keys, we're looking at the S&P versus support 50-day and resistance at the 21 EMA. Qs, support versus 50-day and resistance at the 21 EMA. And we're still watching those long-term rates. The charts of interest, we'll first go over stocks we trimmed. Tesla, we initially broke over 265 and then poked our heads over 271, but so far had one lower low, two lows, three lower lows, and four lower lows, closing below the 8 EMA. So we decided to trim and below the 250 whole number as well. Volume is contracting, so we definitely could see this continue building out its VCP, as you can see here, but we just had to reduce some risk heading into a volatile next week. BRT, another one, closed below 21 EMA, so we trimmed. Reddit, we added yesterday on the day two higher high, but gapped down today and couldn't reclaim HVC, so we trimmed that one off as well. MSTR added yesterday on a tight inside day above the 8 EMA, but we had an outside day candle, so we trimmed off that percentage as well, and it was on volume today. Kava also closed below the 21 EMA, so we trimmed some of that off. CEG, earnings Monday, so we just sold the whole position, took a bit of a profit. NVIDIA, not a name we touched today, but just wanted to talk about it. We held this 130 level, gapped up, reclaimed 21 EMA, rejected the 8, but still above the 21 EMA, so that is good. NVIDIA loves to run into earnings, build out a sideways handle, and then gap up in earnings. So we'll see if it does that again. Earnings in 19 days. Finally, Bitcoin is something we still own. We're just looking to see if this puts in the handle now, as this is probably the closest to a fat pitch in this market that we currently have, but we need the market behind our back, which is not existent right now. And finally, I'll go over the 21 over 21 list, the top gainers and the top losers. A-Lab was up 3.5% today. It saw ants for 3 days in a row the other day. This is clearly showing RS holding that 70 level and still riding above the 8 EMA. That's beautiful action. and earnings in 3 days as well. So this could be another earnings IPO gapper. In the video, we talked about CART made all-time highs today above 45, but squatted back into this mini base. So still not a new all-time high close, but it is trying. SE up about 1.4%, rally into the 8 and 21. So we'll see how it acts there next week, earnings in 11 days. Sprout Farmers Market yesterday was up 8% on earnings. This is starting to become an accelerated move. We'll have to see if this leads into a blow off top or it continues just to trend above the 8 and 21 EMA. This trend has been amazing. And Oracle gapped up, rejected 8 and 21 and closed the week below the 21. On the downside, MSTR had a bad day, down 6%. We initially tried rallying higher, but rejected as Bitcoin rejected 72,000, and we closed below the 8 EMA for pretty much the first time since the start of the run. The 21 EMA is likely next. Shark Ninja, just massive gap down, day 2, lower low. This is going to be taken off the 21 over 21 list on disappointing earnings. PRT, a name we trimmed, broke out new all-time highs, but started putting this rounded shape. Oftentimes that can lead to short-term tops, and that is looking like that will happen. Earnings, there's volatility, and now we close below the 21 EMA back into the base. CHE is when we cut, close below the 21 EMA, earnings Monday, and we just wanted to reduce some risk into that. Deckers, as you can see, gapped up on earnings on beats, but couldn't follow through, and we're back into the base, into this choppy, super choppy range that we are currently in. Kava, one that we trimmed again as well, trending along the 21 EMA perfectly throughout this whole time, finally closed below today, below the 21 EMA, so we decided to trim some of that off. It was on volume as well. IBET, even though it's down, closed below 8 EMA, still normal action right now. On a 60-minute, right on top of the space, actually found support there. So we'll just have to see if support holds and we build out this right side and take out the highs, put in a new all-time high. And so the key things to really talk about, we had huge earnings in Amazon, Meta, Apple, Microsoft, Coinbase, and others this week. And GDP, ADP, employment. We had PC yesterday that came in line. Core is a little bit hotter. Today with labor market data. Looking forward to next week. We have the election Tuesday and FOMC Thursday. So with that said, I will wrap it up for today's video. As always, we'd love to hear from you. My email is ted@revereasset.com. My Twitter is tedhzhang. Of course, you can still call us old school at 855-REAL-WEALTH. That's 855-732-5932. Our website is Revere Asset Management, and our YouTube channel is Revere Asset. We named our flagship portfolio GROTECTION for this very reason, to have a dual mandate to grow assets in an uptrend and protect assets in a downtrend. And with the short-term 21 EMA in protect now with the red arrow, we definitely have begun peeling exposure back to slowly protect profits and protect the assets from further drawdowns. And if the market does shape up again, we'll get right back in. If you're interested in becoming a client, please reach out. And with that said, I'll wrap it up for today, November 1st. Now it is 5:03 p.m. This is Ted Zhang with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your week. And have a great weekend, everyone.